Open up. It's time to shoot your bow.
Great. Just when I thought the mandatory PvP checks were over. Alright, let's get this over with. Depending on how this goes, this might be my last day alive in PvP Civilization.
You owe me 1 PvP attack. That is, if you want to survive another day.
Now that I'm a bow in PvP Civilization, my life is determined by the amount of shots I have left with my bow. If my bow were to break, well, then my life would be over, which means my life is essentially 381 days long. Just over a year, because I have to pay an attack to the PvP guards every single day, if I want to live.
Not putting up a fight today, I see. Smart choice for someone as fragile as you. Man, I'm shocked you can even lift up that bow. Your arms look like sticks.
Okay, bro, are you serious? What is wrong with you? We went over the script, and that was definitely not in the script, because I would never write something like that.
It's called improv. You were the one who told me to get into character.
Alright, I'll admit, that would be something you would say. Let's just run it from the top again. Just say your lines right, okay?
Nope. I told you I would do this whole pretend thing one time. So that's the best you're getting.
Bro, come on. We have nothing better to do. It's not my fault the entire bow civilization turned out to be empty. I don't know how long Parrot's been gone for, but clearly things have changed since he got sent to the sword civilization. Fine, just do whatever you want. I'm gonna go journal. But just a heads up, this will be a long one, so please no interruptions. Bringing a video journal machine to the bow civilization was quite possibly one of the smartest things I've ever done. I might have died of boredom if I hadn't. Alright, this is my first video journal update as a bow and PvP civilization. It took sacrifices to get here, some of them being unnecessary. I don't want to talk about it.
Evbo?
Oh, I told you, I need peace and quiet. I'm talking about emotional things.
And I'm gonna need a solid reason as to why I should keep you alive. Video journal machines only come from the sword civilization, which means if you're a natural born sword, I'm being generous by giving you 1 minute to explain yourself.
Okay, there's a lot we need to catch up on. Let's just run it back a little bit. The story takes us to a few days ago where I was in the PvP marketplace following Tabby's betrayal. Obviously, this was an emotional time for me, so I had to do some shopping therapy, retail therapy, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But that's when I stumbled upon something magnificent, an item that was almost too perfect for an irrational spender like myself. A PvP speaker system that cost 300 attacks. As far as I'm concerned, this was the most expensive purchase in PvP Civilization. It's probably bad that I view that as an achievement, but, well, someone's gotta buy it. I found the perfect spot in my PvP mansion to place down my new PvP speaker system, right next to my video journal machine.
No way, you actually bought the speaker system for 300 attacks?
Look, it's a part of my healing process, but fine, I'll hear your lecture on spending.
No, this could be good for us. The vibes have been off ever since Tabby stole the Eternal Sword.
Oh, thank you, you understand. Oh, that's a relief.
Don't tell the others I told you this, but I'm pretty sure if you buy more speakers, they all sync up with each other.
Once Wembu said that, well, it didn't take much time for my diamond sword to be reduced to 61 hits. But since I'm practically immortal, my concern was less about my lifespan and more about proper placement for these new speaker systems. I placed one at the battle simulator in hopes that the sword civilization one day rebuilds itself, and I'll actually be able to battle here. I placed another on the giant map that showed all of PvP Civilization, for of course when I want to study the map. Julie was very unhappy with this placement, but I told her studying was better with music. A third speaker system went into the video journal HQ, but that place is practically my second home, so that placement was an obvious one. And the final speaker system went right in front of the statue of the Eternal Sword. My goal was that one day, new diamond swords will drop down to this level, hear the music, and be happy, without having to worry about the world outside that wants them gone for just being a sword. Alright, well, let's turn this thing on. In another life, I would have loved to be exploring the outside for the first time with my best friend. But now I have to go and try to stop her. And I have to go alone, because apparently the other Diamond Swords don't want to risk their lives.
We've already gone over this. It would be strategically unwise for us to explore the outside given that we have one life.
I know, it was a joke that apparently didn't land. Minutech and I realized that if I were to leave and try to come back, I wouldn't be able to climb back up since the waterfall stopped 1 block short of the ledge. Fortunately, buying a water bucket should solve this issue. Unfortunately, I don't exactly have the funds to buy one. Look, I'm a little low on PvP attacks right now. You think you can spot me?
This will cost me precisely 3.2% of my lifespan.
Sorry, even though some of the other Diamond Swords disapprove of my spending habits, we're practically family now, and that means they've got my back. So that means I gotta have theirs by going out into the world and figuring out why everyone wants the sword people gone. If I can understand that, then I have a chance to save my friends, and maybe change Tabby's mind in the process. But in the meantime, I have to figure out how to survive in the outside world first. So let's try to do that. My feet touched the ground, and I stared out to an endless desert with nothing in sight. Looking back, I realized that this is, as far as I know, the first time in my life that I've been outside of a structure. Seeing how unfathomably large the sword civilization was made me proud at how far I've come. I started venturing out and soon saw giant mountains form in the distance. As I got closer, the mountains seemed to give way to a giant valley, almost as if the landscape was forming a path for me to follow. As I journeyed ahead, I thought back to the map of PvP civilization. If I was right in assuming that I was in the sandstone part of the map, then that means each civilization has a valley that leads to the center point of this world. After a short while, I soon realized that I was probably correct. The valley opened up, and in the center was a giant pyramid-like structure with waterfalls flowing all the way from the top. If I had to guess, this was in fact the center of our world, which means this structure is the origin for every single player in PvP civilization. I could tell that there were statues up at the very top, but I could barely make out what they were. Oh, alright, guess I'm going up the waterfall. On the ground in front of the waterfall, there was a small platform that had the same red coloring as the walls of the sword civilization. Looking back, I probably should have paid more attention to my surroundings instead of the architecture of this place, because when I looked up at the waterfall, there was a player dropping down right in front of me. I couldn't tell what weapon this player was holding, but whatever civilization they were a part of, they will definitely try fighting me the second they see my diamond sword. Okay, looks like we're fighting. Let's just hope the 61 PvP attacks I have left are enough to get the job done. From around the corner, I watched as the player reached the bottom of the waterfall. They started walking towards the platform, and I could see the weapon they were holding, and it was a wooden sword. They walked straight up to the red platform and then just disappeared. Look, I know how this sounds, and I also know my credibility is a little bit low given that I've been caught talking to myself a few times. But I can promise you I saw this right. The player just disappeared. So I decided to walk up onto the platform myself. All of a sudden, my surroundings changed, and I was in my room at the wooden sword level, the same room I wake up in every time I die and respawn. What's strange is that this time I didn't die though, and I still have my diamond sword. My best guess at this point is that platform sends you to the beginning of the sword civilization. I was about to go leave and find that wooden sword that just teleported here, but that's when I realized something. The last time I was in this room, Prince Zam threw a trident at my head, fortunately missed, skill issue, and it was stuck in this wall. But now it's not here, which means he has it, and that probably means I'm gonna get jump scared again. That wasn't fun. But at the very least, I have my diamond sword now, so I guess that's a little more intimidating. Anyways, back to finding the wooden sword. I have a good reason to believe that this player was a newborn wooden sword, and if that's the case, they would be in the same spot I was when I first woke up here. Turns out, I think I was right, and I found the player that teleported here that was clearly trying to understand the mechanics of the armor stand door. Eventually though, the door opened back up, and I could confirm my theory. This player had no clue where she was, 0 wins to her name, and no memories of anything at all. This was definitely a newborn wooden sword, alright. I tried to fill them in on the basics, you know, having to PvP to survive and such, and apparently they took that very seriously because they tried to fight me, but that's when I realized her attacks did no damage at all. I even taught her a critical hit, but still I took no damage. Other than dying by Tabby with the Eternal Sword, this was kind of my first time taking damage as a diamond sword. Maybe that has something to do with it. I wished the player good luck, and I encouraged them to buy a bigger house. Am I a bad person for telling a wooden sword to waste most of their life on just a bigger house? Maybe. But come on, what's the point in living longer if you're not gonna have fun in life? So by that logic, I might be a good person. Anyways, I took a little detour at the Iron Sword level to check up on a friend. The last time we spoke, my guard friend was on a journey of self-discovery to figure out what being a shield in PvP civilization means. So last time we spoke, you said there's a door down there that might lead to other civilizations. How's that looking?
No progress yet. I still can't get the door open. I'm starting to think that maybe being a gold level guard might let me open it, but that's my only guess.
Okay, well, if you need to be a gold level guard, then let's just work on ranking you up. Okay, I'm not sure how many more hits it's gonna take for your helmet to break, but I'm running quite a bit low on PvP attacks myself.
How is that even remotely possible? I thought diamond swords have enough durability to last a lifetime.
You know, you would think. Apparently they don't hold up so well when buying speaker systems, but don't worry about it. I think I have a solution. If I could, I would just die, respawn, and get a new diamond sword. But with Prince Zam out there threatening my chances to respawn, that doesn't seem like a great option. So instead, I think it's time to bury the hatchet, or bury the axe in PvP civilization terms, with Parrot. Because I think it's about time I forgave him. It doesn't look like you're too shocked to see I have a diamond sword.
If you've got a diamond sword, that must mean you came here from the outside. So that means Tabby won, but she let you live.
You are right about that. She did win, just like you predicted in your message. I just wish I could have realized what was happening sooner. If I did, then maybe the Eternal Sword would still be here and we wouldn't all be in danger.
You're not the one to blame. No one in your position would have expected you to stop Tabby. Honestly, it's a miracle you're still alive. I should be the one to apologize. I should have warned you sooner. And because of that, my civilization will pay for the consequences of my actions. You see, the bows, axes, and tridents never attacked each other, but each one of them knew that whoever obtained the Eternal Sword first would seek to wipe out every civilization. I can't say for certain how long we have, but the axes are the most ruthless civilization of all, so it's safe to assume they won't hesitate to attack.
Wait, I don't get it. I thought all of the civilizations were against the swords. So why would Tabby and the Axes attack the other civilizations?
Each civilization holds their own eternal weapon. If one civilization were to collect all 5, there would be no stopping them.
Well, this is just great. I didn't just cause the downfall of the swords. I guess I caused the downfall of the whole world. That is, unless we stop her, right? If I can go to the other civilizations and stop Tabby from getting all 5 eternal weapons, I mean, there's still a chance. Unfortunately, me being a diamond sword kind of makes that complicated.
The only way you'll have a chance of surviving in another civilization is by getting another weapon, but I can help you with that.
Let's go, I'm gonna be able to get another weapon? Okay, sounds like a plan. Wait, hold on, I actually need your help with something. And before you say no, you owe me. Parrot and I came up with a plan, and that plan was to make me a bow in PvP civilization. Parrot was confident that if Tabby was gonna infiltrate another civilization, it would be the bow civilization. So that's where we need to go if we want to try to stop her. Parrot gave us some extremely valuable information. He said that PvP guards have access to any civilization through an advanced tunnel system, which means if my guard friend can get through that door, he can come with me to the bow civilization. So how does this work? Does your helmet just grow back? And does your shield just change color?
I'm not really sure. In the past, when I've ranked up, I would just be walking around and then suddenly I'd feel stronger.
Okay, well, when that happens, meet me in the bow civilization. Now that I know that Parrot was actually a bow, I guess it makes sense why he didn't want to come down to the diamond sword level. I tried to convince him again, but he said the diamond swords have no reason to trust him. So for now, he's just gonna stay at the iron sword level. I don't know, I mean, Wembu and Julie are super chill. Minitek, a little strange, but more analytical. And Foray, it's hard to say. Foray really doesn't say anything, but now that I think about it, if Foray knew that Parrot was a bow, yeah, he'd probably die. Alright, I guess it's fine that he stays here. As long as he uses his durability wisely, I mean, he should be fine. It's not like there's anyone there to fight him.
You and I are gonna talk. I want to know why you're the only one still alive.
Here's when I realized something crazy. This is the first time I've gone through the sword civilization as a diamond sword. And I'm pointing that out because that's the only reason I can think as to why I kept my water bucket when I dropped down to the golden sword level. Normally, I would have lost all of my items by now, but I guess that could explain how Tabby was able to bring her items down to the diamond sword level. Anyways, the reason why this is so important is because when I figured this out, I went straight outside and back to the top of the sword civilization again. I grabbed one of my spare video journal machines. I mean, come on, did you really think I wouldn't buy extras for emergencies? And now I could make sure that the video journals didn't end when when I went to the Bow civilization. Speaking of video journals, well, obviously I had to update the video journal eventually. This is kind of getting weird. This is like a video journal within a video journal. But anyways, here's what I said in that video journal. Alright, well, it's been a minute, but now I'm preparing to go to the Bow civilization. If I have any chance of surviving there, I'm gonna need a bow of my own. Fortunately, Parrot filled me in on how to get one. So, here's how it works. In PvP Civilization, if a player eliminates someone with a sword, or any weapon of that matter, the defeated player drops the weapon they were holding, and the durability of that weapon gets added on to the weapon they were defeated by. So that's why when I eliminated some of the axes that were here, all it did was just add durability to my sword. But check this out. If a player is defeated by a secondary item instead of an actual weapon, the defeated player's weapon can be picked up and put in your inventory to be used as another weapon. So that's how all the other civilizations got swords, and that's how I'm gonna get a bow.
I could only assume that the outside world must have been overwhelming, given the fact you're journaling instead of sharing your knowledge with all of us.
Or I just forgot. Yeah, I should probably fill everyone in on everything I just learned. So signing off. After getting everyone caught up, well, I needed a flint and steel as a secondary item if I was gonna get a bow. And since I virtually had no durability still, well, Wembu clutched up this time. Like I said, we're family, and you know, what's family without asking for a few handouts? Alright, it's time to get serious though. If I do manage to successfully get a bow, I'll be going into a civilization where everyone is against the swords. So naturally, fights will be inevitable, but I'm gonna try to avoid that as much as possible, because even though I'll respawn, Prince Zam is still definitely out there, and I don't want to die for real. I made it back to the center of PvP Civilization, and already there was a player dropping down the waterfall. This was my perfect chance to get a bow. As far as I know about these newborn players, they should just walk straight to the platform, so, well, hopefully this is enough fire. Unfortunately, the player was walking way too fast, and I kind of panicked and had to end it right there. Okay, I know this video journal has been really long, but remember from the beginning when I said there were some unnecessary sacrifices made? Yeah, that was this guy. I was so focused on placing down the fire and I didn't even realize that wasn't even a bow. What is wrong with me? That was a wooden sword. After that, I stood there for a few minutes in complete silence. I kept thinking about how he didn't even get the chance to fight back. This world is so unfair. At the end of the day, it was an honest mistake, and the only thing I can really do now is dedicate this video journal to that guy. So, this one goes out to the blue hoodie man. Anyways, I walked around the structure to the correct side, the one where I was supposed to be, and I saw the walls of the giant structure changed from a red color to green. The same green color that was on the map of PvP Civilization. If I'm at the right place, then I guess green symbolizes the Bow civilization. So now, I just have to wait for a newborn wooden bow to drop down and hope that whatever's left of my flint and steel will be enough to get the job done. A few moments later, I saw a player coming down the waterfall, and I made sure this time that it was a player holding a bow. The only way this works is if I take out the bow with only a flint and steel. If I hit the player with my sword once, I won't get the bow. I thought the player was gonna walk past the fire and make it to the platform, but just then, the player took one more hit of damage and the bow was left sitting there on the ground. I walked over to it, and instead of adding on to my durability of my diamond sword, the bow was in my inventory, along with a singular arrow. I'm not really sure how that got there, but it worked. I was hesitant at first, but I went for it, and for the first time in my life, I was holding a weapon that wasn't a sword. I was now a bow in PvP Civilization. I had to be careful when switching out my weapons, because everyone knows in PvP Civilization, if you stop holding a weapon, well, it's game over. But for the journey ahead, I would only be needing a bow. Hopefully. I stepped up onto the green platform and instantly was teleported somewhere. I was inside of a room that looked similar to the one I started off in the Sword Civilization. The only things in here were a bed and a sign that said I had 0 wins. I was definitely in a new civilization, so at that moment I knew I had to be prepared for anything once I opened the door. I wasn't sure how this worked, but I shot my one arrow at the armor stand and the door opened. Naturally, I tried to go retrieve the arrow, but it didn't look like it could be picked up. However, a few seconds later, I checked my inventory and somehow there was another arrow there. I guess being a bow in PvP Civilization means you always have an arrow on you. I stepped out of my room to explore the Bow Civilization, and I saw that my room was basically on the edge of a cliff with water down below. I saw giant walls with a more intricate green design. I saw armor stand doors, just like in the Sword Civilization, but what I didn't see were people. Now, I know this is PvP Civilization, and people don't come out too often because they don't want to risk their lives unless they absolutely have to, but this civilization was definitely different. There was not even a single guard in sight. It was completely empty. That was until I saw the miraculous sight of a PvP guard holding a golden shield. It looked like my plan worked, and my guard friend made it to the bow civilization with me. Then I set up my video journal, did the whole skit thing with the PvP guard, was kind of unsuccessful, and now we're here. I should probably get off though, because there's a bow standing right here. So on that note, signing off.
While it's hard to make sense of any of that, I can't imagine the other diamond swords would have wanted that story told here.
I'll admit I probably shouldn't have said any of that in front of you, but I'm committed to the journal.
To be quite honest, no explanation was going to help you survive. I just wanted to see what I could learn. Now I'll do my part in making sure the swords never destroy this world again.
Look, you don't understand. I came here trying to save your civilization. Someone has the eternal sword and they're coming for the eternal bow next. I just want to help.
Take a look around you. What do you think happened here? They stole the bow and wiped most of us out. And as far as I'm concerned, you led them here.
The eternal bow is already gone? Wait, what do you mean by they? How many were there?
2 diamond axes. That's all it took to wipe our civilization off the map. In all my time alive, I've never seen players like them. The speed, the strength, the intelligence they had. We fired off every single arrow we had, and it got us nowhere. The only thing that secured my civilization's survival was my promise to them that I would help deal with the rest of the swords. So, as it stands with the deal I made, I can promise you there's no reality where you leave here alive.
In PvP Civilization, players spawn into this world holding one of 5 items. The first are the swords, next are the axes, there are the tridents, there are players that are born with shields, and lastly, there are players that are born with bows. I know that's not exactly new information, but just let me explain, I'm getting there. Point is, each of the 5 items have their own advantages and disadvantages when it comes to PvP. To start, there are the swords, which is the item I was born with. Being the standard weapon for close range combat, natural born swords spawn with a wooden sword that has a lifespan of 59 PvP attacks. However, by eliminating players, swords can upgrade all the way to the diamond level, giving them the longest lifespan in PvP Civilization, as well as stronger attacks and defense. But the true power of being a natural born sword is the ability to rank up beyond diamond, to become an immortal netherite sword. No other civilization has this ability, which is a reason as to why the swords are facing extinction. Next are the axes, who also start at a wooden level. Like the swords, axes are used for close range PvP, but deal much higher damage than the swords, especially with critical hits. While axes share the exact same durabilities as the swords, the higher damage from an axe means each PvP attack uses 2 durability instead of 1. So this would mean that wooden axes basically have the shortest lifespans in PvP Civilization. But just like the swords, the axes also have the ability to rank up to the diamond level through PvP victories. Next, we have the tridents. Being born as a trident comes with a few unique qualities that increase the odds of survival in PvP Civilization. For one, tridents are born with 250 PvP attacks and deal significant damage in close-ranged PvP. However, tridents can also be used for long-range combat by being thrown from a distance. Normally, if a player were to drop their weapon, they would die, but tridents can throw their weapon and still survive. The only downside is that until they retrieve their trident, they can't hold another item, which makes them vulnerable if they do decide to throw it. Tridents also can't rank up in any way, so 250 PvP attacks is all they get. The fourth item in PvP Civilization is the shield. Honestly, shields are kind of a mystery around here. They have the power to open certain doors, and they take 0 damage when they block their shield. Unlike any of the other items, shields actually rank up by taking damage. So while their role in PvP Civilization is kind of unknown, shields will basically work for anyone that's willing to pay them in PvP attacks. And finally, we have the bows. Spawning in with a bow comes with a durability of 384 PvP attacks, which means newborn bows technically have the longest lifespans when starting out. While bows can be very dangerous from far away, close-range PvP is where bows have the biggest disadvantage. Okay, now I'm coming full circle. This is why I was explaining all that. Knowing the weaknesses for the bows was how I was able to get out of this current situation. In a small room, there would be no way for a bow to beat a sword, let alone a diamond sword. Look, bro, I told you I'm not here to fight you. I just want to help. But if you truly have no choice, I'm sorry to say you're not gonna win. I'm a diamond sword, and it's a 2 versus 1.
I don't know where you're from, but in PvP Civilization, guards don't work for anyone. They work for whoever pays them the most PvP attacks.
I'm not gonna lie, my financial situation is great as is, so I'm probably Team Evbo on this one, man.
What? You can't be serious. You're a fool if you think that guard is your friend. Once he finds a higher price, you'll be alone.
Okay, if I'm being honest, he's more of my friend than I'm his. But regardless, I still am the highest price. So yeah, 2 versus 1.
So what do you expect me to do now? I made a promise to save my people, my family. I would be a monster like you if I let you go free.
Look, I don't think you understand. You don't need to keep your promise if I succeed in stopping the Axis. Your people will be safe if I can just do this. I don't know if I'll ever understand why you all dislike the sword so much, but I'm here asking to fight for you. So why won't you let me just at least try to do that? The player just stood there staring at me, but a second later, an arrow fired right past my head.
Fine, then you better make good on your word.
Thankfully, I avoided a fight with a bow, but now I have another added responsibility, and that's making sure that the bows are safe. Of course, the only way to do that is to stop the Axis.
So, what do we do now that the Eternal Bow is gone?
I don't know, but honestly, my curiosity is compelling me to explore this place, so that's what I'm gonna do. Don't worry, I'll just be a few minutes, so feel free to watch the journal while I'm gone.
Give it up already. I'm never going to make a video journal update.
Whoa, I didn't even say anything, but that was my intention. It's fine, I'm sure we'll get a guard update soon. Maybe when that happens, I'll actually get to know his name. I caught up with the bow that spared me a fight, and he told me that if I actually wanted a chance to stop the Axis, I would have to know what I'm up against. And he started leading me down the path straight ahead. I followed him until we approached a giant gap in the ground that looked like it should have been uncrossable if it weren't for the 4 blocks on the wall leading to the other side. This massive pit with water at the bottom was supposed to prevent outsiders from reaching the armor stand at the other end. That was where the Eternal Bow was located before it was stolen. The bow named Siwat told me before they even had time to react, one of the 2 axes used these 4 blocks to parkour across the gap. And after they stole the Eternal Bow, they used invisibility to escape without being seen. After Siwat told me that, I knew exactly who this was, because I've seen it before. Okay, so axes have blocks to place, that's new. Is there a PvP marketplace, shop, something like that here?
Did you not just hear what I told you? There's nothing you can buy that will help you outsmart the Axis.
No, you have it all wrong. You see, for me, buying things helps me get a clear headspace, I guess is how I should say it, and that will help me think of a plan to defeat the Axis. You follow me?
Okay, that just sounds like you have a severe shopping addiction.
Yeah, whatever. It's time for a new PvP marketplace. Let's go. Siwat led me to one of the armor stand doors and told me behind this wall was the PvP marketplace for the Bow civilization. He said that a key item needed to shop in the PvP marketplace was a spyglass. I wasn't really sure why though, and then I'm pretty sure he said something under his breath like he hoped my bow would break and I'd die. I don't know, I kind of chose to block it out, but whatever. It seems like the other civilizations not liking the swords has kind of been a long-standing issue, so I guess at the end of the day, Siwat letting me live and go on a shopping spree is kind of a step in the right direction. The Bow civilization's PvP marketplace looked wildly different than the one I was used to. For starters, the armor stands were very far away and I couldn't even read what I was buying. The armor stands were only able to be hit by using a bow, which was a problem for me because I soon realized I wasn't good with a bow and arrow. If I was actually someone who was born as a bow, well, judging by this performance, I probably wouldn't have survived for very long. Eventually though, I got the hang of it and my arrows started to actually hit the armor stand. After landing 5 successful PvP attacks, an item popped out of the dispenser. This was the item Siwat told me would be necessary for shopping in the PvP marketplace, a spyglass. Apparently it's also useful for bows in general for being able to spot enemies from afar, but I really don't care about that, I just care about the shopping part. Now that I could use the spyglass and zoom in to read exactly what I was buying, I was disappointed. I mean, the PvP marketplace in the Sword Civilization was so much better. I mean, I bought a PvP speaker system, a video journal machine. The only thing that seemed remotely cool to me was this item display frame that I bought for 50 attacks. Now that I think about it, maybe the swords having a better PvP marketplace selection is why they want to wipe us all out. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I noticed that the more expensive items in the Bow civilization had armor stands that were very far away. So, given my bow capabilities, it probably wasn't worth my time to buy any more stuff. At the end of the day, Tabby is out there somewhere, most likely getting ready to steal the other Eternal weapons. So, keeping that in mind, I should probably pick up the pace a little bit. Before going back to my room, however, I decided to check out the entrance to the Bow civilization. It looked like the door was open and operated the same way the door to the Sword civilization did. My guess is that these 4 armor stands are also responsible for opening and closing this giant entrance. The difference here, however, is the bows probably had no reason to keep their their door closed like the swords did, because they weren't afraid of the other civilizations attacking them. But I guess the decision to keep the door open backfired because Tabby and whoever the other axe was just walked straight in and stole the Eternal Bow. It's crazy to think that if I had just made it here a little bit earlier, I would have seen Tabby standing in this exact same spot, probably next to someone she trusts to have her back. I really thought that would be me, you know? Just two best friends fighting to survive another day. While I'm grateful for the family I found, I honestly would do anything for one more time when it's just Tabby and I against the world. Unfortunately, I ended up with just me and this guy.
To answer your question, no, I didn't journal. Anyways, what'd you find?
Well, I learned that Tabby was definitely here, and I also learned that the shopping here is pretty bad. I mean, I'm all for buying useless stuff, but come on, an item display frame? That's just sad that that's the best thing they have to offer here.
Well, if you paid all those PvP attacks for it, you might as well put some item on display.
Alright, you make a fair point. I guess it would be kind of cool if my sword was displayed here.
It's just like, when you do this stuff, it's impossible to feel bad for you.
The last time I died and respawned, I woke up to a fight that almost cost me my power of immortality, which is why I got out of bed swinging my sword everywhere, just in case that happened again. But thankfully, it seemed like I could get my respawn power in peace this time. And while I did manage to get this respawn through, I should really start being more careful in the outside world, because if I lose this respawn power, that could be the difference between life and death for my friends. The diamond swords are trusting me to be disciplined. So with that being said, I am definitely not telling them that I just died by throwing my sword in an item frame. I also lost my bow, but on the bright side, I'm back to full durability. Hey, what's up, Wembu? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, what's good, bro? I was trying to turn the speakers back on, but whatever, it doesn't matter. What's up?
Well, the Eternal Bow is gone, so that's not good, but I'm doing all right.
Wait, did you say the Eternal Bow is already gone? How is that even possible?
Apparently, Tabby and another axe wiped out almost all of the bow civilization. I don't know, there's a lot to break down, but just come with me. I'm gonna go journal.
Trusting a sword to save us all? No, that would just be reckless. I am fine with us not being targets at the moment, though.
Hey, what happened up there? You were gone for a while. I thought you died. Please tell me the axes are gone.
The axes are gone, but a diamond sword is here now. Long story short, the kid let us off the hook.
Wait, did you just say a diamond sword is here? How are you even still alive?
I'm alive because he didn't want to fight me. I have no clue what the deal is with this kid. I mean, he practically vented his whole life story in front of me. I wasn't really understanding any of it, but I think I came to the conclusion that this kid Evbo has the power to respawn. Trust me, I can tell by the look in his eyes he wasn't exactly afraid to die.
That can't be possible. Remember that guard we paid? He told us the diamond sword named Foray had the respawn power.
Right, so either that guard was lying, which I doubt, or there's something else going on here. Do you think it's possible that this Foray guy gave the power to Evbo?
I doubt it. Why would anyone give up the power to live forever?
Valid point, which leads me to think maybe this power can be shared somehow. I think it's about time we get a whole new perspective. The axes are going to get the eternal weapons. There's no doubt about that, and we're in no condition to stop them. So, I say we shift our attention to this respawn power. If we find out how to obtain this power, we just might be able to come out of this on top.
So, yeah, that was pretty much my journey in the bow civilization. Fortunately, Wembu and I are boys, so we're kind of keeping that whole item frame death thing between us. But anyways, let's look at the bigger problem at hand. Tabby has the Eternal Sword, the Eternal Bow, and probably the Eternal Axe if I had to guess. So now, all she needs is the Trident and the Shield. If we can't stop her before she gets those two, well, it's probably not going to look good for us.
Hey, you think I can finish the video journal update?
Are you kidding me? Of course you can.
All right, so the situation is not great, but I believe that we can overcome this with a positive mindset. What now? Oh, right. Okay, signing off.
That was beautiful. I mean, that was seriously really good. Wait, check this out. I think we got a message. Looks like Parrot's got more to say, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, I probably haven't recovered from his last message, but oh well. I guess let's give this a listen.
Hello, Evbo, and the other diamond swords, I'd imagine. I have to admit, the outcome of our last fight
Was unexpected, to say the least. I might even accept the fact that you've become outright better than me at sword PvP. Be that as it may, I don't need to be better than you. You see, me being alive threatens your existence, your ability to respawn over and over again. Each time you die, you'll never know if I'll be there waiting to get rid of you for good. And that thought alone scares you enough to give me the advantage. Honestly, you should be thanking me for helping you not take life for granted.
Hey, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking this is not very good.
Bro, obviously this is not good. Parrot is literally nowhere in sight, and this is supposed to be from him.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page.
Anyway, I need to make it out of the Sword Civilization alive, for reasons that don't concern any of you. The way I see it, if I drop down to your level, I'll die before I reach the exit. And if I try fighting, well, it doesn't take a genius to know how a 5 versus 1 will turn out. So, that is why I have leverage. Your friend Parrot should be enough to let me walk out of here unharmed. If you decide to take me out, then I come right back to this Iron Sword level and Parrot dies. Alternatively, you might come up with a plan to have Evbo die and wait for me to respawn to prevent me from taking out Parrot, but choosing that route assumes Evbo can win a battle against a Trident, which he's never fought before. If he can't, he dies permanently, and Parrot suffers the same fate. Now that I've made this decision obvious for you all, I'll be down there shortly. I look forward to seeing what you choose to do.
The video journal machine shut off, leaving Wembu and I speechless. But both of us were thinking the exact same thing, and that was that Prince Zam was gonna make it down here one way or another. If only I could have actually convinced Parrot to come down here, things would be different. But now, well, now he's basically just a free ticket out of here for Prince Zam. Wembu and I filled in Minitech, Julie, and Foray, and they all came to the same conclusion. So we decided that Prince Zam was coming down to the Diamond Sword level. His terms required that he would be able to leave here unharmed. So despite having the strength of 5 Diamond Swords, all we could do was sit back and watch as Prince Zam walked right through us without suffering a single PvP attack. As he was leaving, he stopped in front of me.
Parrot told me your best friend Tabby betrayed you. I guess I'm doing you a favor by getting rid of her, since she's the one collecting the eternal weapons.
Hey, we let you leave without a scratch, so the least you can tell us is what you want.
As of now, there are 2 things that stand in my way. You and the eternal weapons. Once I deal with both of those, I will be the god of this world.
After that, Prince Zam jumped off the edge and escaped to the outside world. So, using his words, he wants to be a god of PvP civilization. My guess is by being the only one with the respawn power, which means he's not gonna stop fighting until one of us is gone. Minitech also pointed out that being eliminated by the eternal weapons gets rid of the respawn ability. So, it would make sense why Prince Zam needs to collect them all in order to be truly immortal. Oh, now I have to stop 2 people from getting the eternal weapons. This is getting complicated. Minitech, being the main strategist of the Diamond Swords, told me I didn't have any time to waste. And he was right. The struggle for power would soon be at an all-time high, now that Prince Zam is joining the fight. I have no concepts of a plan at all, but I'll figure it out as I go, I guess. Improvising was always my thing anyways. For a second, I thought I caught up to Prince Zam because there was a player standing directly in front of me. But this was definitely not him. Whoever this wasn't even moving. Hello? Who are you? For a moment, I thought this player didn't even notice me, but a second later, he turned around and I saw the weapon in his hand. This was not just some ordinary player. This was a diamond axe. We both stood there staring at each other in the middle of the desert. I had no clue what to say or what to even do, but soon enough, the diamond axe spoke.
You don't seem nervous. Usually, people run from the sight of a diamond axe, but I guess your respawn ability must be the source of your confidence.
What? How does this guy know that I have the respawn ability? I stood there frozen, not knowing what to think of this situation. This diamond axe knows who I am somehow, so what is his game plan? Why haven't you attacked me yet?
I could ask you the same thing.
I don't know. I guess I'm holding out hope that you might be good? But just as I said that, the player with the axe sprinted towards me. It's been so long, I had almost forgotten that this was a world of PvP. So now it's time to see if I can truly survive in it. We both landed an attack on each other, but the axe was faster than I was and landed a critical hit, causing me to back off. What really confused me is that this player didn't continue his aggression and just stood there.
Just so I have this right, you only attack people if you deem them good or bad?
In all my fights in PvP Civilization, I've never had a fight go down like this. Why was he just talking to me? If he knows I'm the one with the respawn ability, shouldn't he be more cautious?
Let me ask you something. In our world, where it's necessary to defeat others to survive, how do you determine who lives and who dies? To you, it must be whoever treats you well.
I don't know what to say to that. Why are you asking me these questions?
Tabby told me you have a strange outlook on this world. I just wanted to see for myself.
Hearing Tabby's name thrown out completely made me lose sight of the situation I was in. So much that I didn't even notice the weapon the player was holding when he was walking towards me. It was only until this player was staring me straight in the face that I noticed that the axe was not a diamond axe anymore. This player was holding one of the 5 items capable of erasing me from this world permanently, the Eternal Axe. For some reason I can't explain, I was petrified. I couldn't move. All I could do was just watch this player get closer and closer, knowing that I'd never get a chance to say goodbye to my family. But the player just stopped right in front of me.
Now is not your time to die. So in the meantime, you think about those questions.
And that was all the player said before turning around and disappearing into the desert. What was that?
I met your friend Evbo just a bit ago.
So, I take it he's dead then?
If I said yes, how would you feel?
The swords threaten our existence. So I would say you did what you had to do. We need to prepare. Getting the Eternal Trident is all that matters now.
In the world of PvP, there are 5 different civilizations. Or 4. 5? I don't know. Anyways, I've been to the Sword Civilization, and I have just now completed my journey to the Bow Civilization. But now, it's time to embark on a journey to a new civilization, which will be the Tridents. Prince Zam is probably on his way to take hold of the Eternal Trident, and Tabby might already be there trying to steal it. Oh man, I don't even know what to think of this situation. I mean, if both of those are true, the Axes will be fighting the Tridents there, and if I show up, they'll also try fighting me. Okay, yeah, it's safe to say I have zero clue on how to handle this situation, but if we're being honest, when have I ever had a plan? Anyways, let's just jump right into this. Stepping on this platform will send me directly to the Trident Civilization, where I'll be right in the middle of the action. Okay, is something wrong here? Why am I not teleporting? Is this one broken or something? How is that even possible? If this means I have to go through the main entrance and not get myself a room in the Trident Civilization, I'm gonna be very upset.
Don't tell me that's a diamond sword standing right there.
It looks like he's all by himself.
What do we do? We're supposed to be weakening the Tridents right now. We don't have time to fight this.
You go on ahead. I'll deal with this kid.
Just make it quick. I'll meet you at the Trident Civilization.
As I stood there on the platform, I heard the sound of footsteps rapidly approaching from behind me, and I could tell by the speed that this was someone eager to wipe me out, which means it was time to tap into all the movement training I completed at the Golden Sword level. Just as the player was right up on me, I quickly jumped to the side and dodged the swing of an axe. This is now the second run-in I've had with an axe in the outside world, and I could already tell that this one wasn't going to be like the last. This was not a player looking for a conversation. This was someone who wanted me dead. The axes are supposed to be the most ruthless civilization of all, and I could tell by the look in this guy's eyes that he wasn't all the way there. The player with the iron axe charged me, and I decided to keep up my strategy of dodging the attacks. This player was only trying to land critical hits, attempting to deal massive damage, but I wasn't letting that happen. As soon as I found an opening, I fought back with my sword. It's hard to tell if this player was blinded by rage or the orientation of his eyes, but either way, this player's strategy for the fight ended with his death, and with me not suffering a single PvP attack. I gained back some durability by grabbing the iron axe, and I decided that staying out here in the open was probably a bad idea. My guess is that that player was on his way to the Trident Civilization, and if that's true, I do not want to stay around here if more axes are gonna pull up. I still don't get it. I wouldn't have had to fight that player if the platform to the Trident Civilization worked. I thought I had a good understanding of this whole center of the universe thing. I mean, a new player spawns, drops down, steps on the platform. Wait, what the? Just then, I thought I was about to get into another fight, but whoever this player was took one look at me and turned around and started running away. Was that a bow? What were they even doing here? Okay, well, I guess there's more than one bow alive. Not sure what to do with that information.
Get me out of here. Please get me out of here.
Sending Toph out there by himself was a bad idea. If he gets hurt, this is on you.
We need a sword to find this respawn power, and if we were to die, Toph wouldn't know how to rebuild an entire civilization by himself. Besides, he offered to go.
Then he better come back, because if he dies from this, you're gonna be rebuilding the civilization by yourself.
Okay, so using the platform to get into the Trident Civilization doesn't seem to be an option. I'm just gonna have to go through the front door, I guess. But with the amount of people I've seen, I'm definitely gonna need more resources if I want to survive for longer. Wembo, hello? Can you come over here? Water bucket, please. Thank you. Thankfully, Wembu was there to let me back into the sword civilization. I thought about telling all the diamond swords about the strange interaction I had with the mysterious diamond axe, but to be honest, I was running short on time. By the looks of it, the axes were already on their way to the trident civilization, and I don't want to have a repeat of what happened with the bows. I bought 5 golden carrots and a flint and steel to prepare for my journey, a journey that could very well cost me my life in PvP civilization. I told Wembu if I don't make it back alive, well, he gets full authority over the video journals. To be fair though, he was the only one in consideration for that role, given that no one else would voluntarily record video journals. Anyways, it's time to focus up, because I'm about to be putting myself in the middle of a battle between 2 civilizations that both want to wipe out the swords. I'll have to be prepared for anything, even if it means fighting my best friend.
This is our only chance. I only had enough attacks to afford 1 invisibility potion for this.
Then you better make it count. Use it to escape.
Yep, I'm not trying that ever again. I'm telling you guys, there's no way I'll have enough time to get a wooden sword. Are we sure we can't just go in through the front of the sword civilization?
This is the only way in, Toph, which means you'll have to go back out there and wait for a newborn wooden sword to spawn.
I mean, what if that guard is still here? That one that sticks with the bow? Maybe he might help us get a wooden sword somehow if we pay him enough.
Toph, I know you're scared, but it's time to face reality. We don't have much of a choice here.
I actually just don't get it. I don't get how someone can be so unintelligent. It blows my mind. Out of everything, he puts his sword in the item frame?
An item frame? What does that mean? Guys? You might want to check this out.
I walked through the valley until a massive structure formed in the distance. Blue coloring on the walls, a cascading waterfall out in front. Yep, this was definitely the Trident civilization. And luckily for me, the giant door to enter the civilization was wide open. However, that fact alone means that this civilization isn't afraid of outsiders. The door being open doesn't just help me though, because that means if the axes got here before me, they would already be inside. At this point, I just have to be prepared to fight anything. I got to the top of the waterfall and walked through the giant opening into the Trident civilization. Before seeing this, I thought the pool in my PvP mansion was the coolest thing ever. But now that I was standing on a trident-shaped rock that was practically in the middle of an ocean, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about how much it might cost to move here. Then, I had to quickly remind myself that I did not have time to get distracted by really cool architecture, because I have a job to do, and that's find the Eternal Trident before Tabby or Prince Zam gets to it. I came to the unfortunate conclusion that I probably wouldn't get to visit the PvP marketplace in the Trident civilization, which really made me sad because, well, you know me, I would just buy anything, really. But for now, paying 3 PvP attacks to open doors is, I guess it's kind of like a purchase. Alright, I'm not happy about it, but it does the job. I found myself in another room not knowing what to expect, but all of a sudden, I heard the sound of a player taking damage and someone flew into the water below me. It was an iron axe, and he immediately started attacking me as soon as he saw me. I hit him away and jumped down into the water. I know I said I had to be ready to fight anything, but this encounter made me realize I was not ready at all. At the end of the day, I don't want to fight these people, but at this point, I realized that simply wasn't an option. I swam up onto a platform where I saw not the axe I was fighting, but a trident. The player charged me, and my first battle against a trident had begun. Prince Zam's plan to escape the sword civilization hinged on the fact that I've never fought a trident before. But after the throw of a trident knocked me in the water, leaving me at 2.5 hearts, I realized it was a wise choice not to fight Prince Zam. Tridents were strong, much stronger than I anticipated. Even with my increased resistance as a diamond sword, it seemed like that trident just tore right through me. Luckily, I made it out of that room in time to regenerate some health, but I do not like the fact that I've been in this new civilization for all of a couple minutes and I've almost died.
So first Prince Zam shows up, then the axes show up, and now a sword. Give me a break.
Whatever that room was definitely seemed like a dead end, and I was back in the main room with no leads on where to find the Eternal Trident. That was until I saw the axe I was just fighting, and he was swimming down towards something at the bottom of the ocean. I swam after him, and when I got to the bottom, I stumbled upon some sort of underwater tunnel. Now, I know I'm no expert at PvP physics or whatnot, but this tunnel definitely seemed like it defied the laws of nature. Even with all the openings, it seemed like some invisible force was just stopping the water from flowing in, making for a breathable hallway at the bottom of an ocean. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say this is a more promising lead to the Eternal Trident.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
I walked down the hallway not knowing where I was going. I didn't even have a solid idea of what my plan was, but as I turned around to see an iron axe lunging towards me, I realized that my plan was quite simply to survive. The longer I survive, the higher chance I have of finding the Eternal Trident. If I find the Eternal Trident again, then there's a higher chance I have of seeing Tabby again. And if I do find Tabby, well, then there's a chance I finally figure out what she plans on doing with the Eternal weapons. Right, so survive long enough to get answers. That's basically what my plan boils down to. I won the battle against the Iron Axe with 2.5 hearts. Thought Purple would have put up more of a fight, to be honest. And I was down to my last 3 golden carrots. With the way these PvP battles have been going, it's looking like I'll only have enough food to survive a few more fights. Unless I can miraculously fight like Foray does, that is, not take any damage from a fight. But I don't see that happening in the near future. So, for now I just gotta be smart. Whatever this place in the Trident civilization was, seemed to be a confusing network of hallways that went in all different directions. Now more than ever, I had to be cautious about which armor stands I choose to hit, because if I open the wrong door, well, someone might just be waiting for me on the other side to take me out. I actually like the fact that there's armor stands everywhere. Maybe I should make it a goal to hit them all. No, why am I thinking like that? Speaking of opening the wrong doors, when I walked into the hallway, an iron axe came charging in from the other side. This is now the second iron axe I've seen down here, which leads me to think this is definitely the place where the Eternal Trident is. Why I've only seen iron axes and not Tabby or the other diamond axe is another question in itself, but I came to the conclusion that that might actually be a good sign. The axes might be sending in their lower level players to weaken the tridents for players like Tabby and the other diamond axe. Just a theory at this point, but if that is their game plan, then that means I'm not too late this time, and they haven't found the trident yet. But after I walked into another hallway and saw a trident on the ground, I realized I was running out of time. The axes were wiping out the tridents in numbers, and soon enough, Tabby would be here to get what she was after. Knowing her, she might already be here. For all I know, she could be standing in the exact same spots where I was standing in, and fighting in the same hallways I fought in. I know this sounds crazy, but I kinda just wish I would open one of these doors to see Tabby standing there. With everything she's done, and everything she wants to do to the swords, I shouldn't be feeling this way. All I am to her is her enemy, but I couldn't help it. I couldn't stop myself from hoping that every PvP attack I paid, every corner I turned, and every hallway I ran through would lead me back to my best friend.
So, looks like kicking you out of this civilization once wasn't enough. If you're after the Trident again, I can assure you, I won't hold back this time.
I ate my last golden carrot as I stared down the hallway to the sight of something different. There was running water covering the door, and when I walked through it, I was in a room that broke the pattern of endless hallways. By the looks of it, I would guess this is the room where an Eternal Trident would be kept. Alright, I guess it's time to go find out if it's still here or not. Let's hope for the best. Things were kind of a blur after that. Honestly, if I didn't log it into my journal right away, I probably would have forgotten what exactly happened. A few journals ago, I said I didn't know what I would do if I saw Tabby again. I'm bringing that up because when I heard someone come through the waterfall, I was getting ready to fight until I saw it was her. And I didn't do anything. But I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to stay there, because in that short moment, Tabby stared back at me not as an enemy, but as a friend. It was a look that seemed like she was relieved to see that I was alive, and I wanted to savor it for as long as I could. I didn't get it at the time. I didn't get why she sent me back to being a wooden sword. But then I remembered I was seconds away from being erased from this world forever. And that was when I realized she saved me. She swung her axe at the last second, and because of that, I could respawn. I woke up back in my room not knowing what to think. Confused? Definitely, but more so sad. There was a lot of things that I wish I could have said to Tabby before I died. At the very least, I would have wanted some answers about what she wants to do with the Eternal weapons. But now I just have to hope she makes it out of there alive, because she's stuck in there fighting Prince Sam with an Eternal weapon. And I know she's much more capable at PvP than I am, but PvP civilization is unpredictable. In our world, I've realized that it's not just your PvP abilities that determine whether you can survive or not. It's your ability to be adaptable in any situation. Prince Zam and Tabby both outsmarted the swords and I without using PvP at all. I know I'm dragging this, but point is, I don't know if this is a fight Tabby will win. And the worst thing about this is I couldn't even make it over there in time if I wanted to. So I can't do anything. I just have to hope she makes it out alive. Well, I know this one has been pretty sad. I'll try to change the mood around for the next one. Alright, signing off.
I can do this. I can do this. I just gotta survive long enough to figure out anything I can about this respawn power. No, you know what? I can totally do this. After all, I am a diamond sword now.
Alright, we are back with another video journal update. Now, at this point, I know whoever's watching is probably like, no way this is a back-to-back journal update, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, that's exactly what this is. And I did say I would improve the vibes for the next one, so here we are. Anyways, we haven't had a good video journal breakdown in a while to really digest everything that's happened in PvP Civilization recently. That's why for this one, I convinced the whole crew to make an appearance. A lot of pressure this time, because I gotta show everyone how incredibly important these video journals are. Let's get to it. The encounter I had a bit ago with the Diamond Axe left me, well, very confused. He told me it wasn't my time to die. Any thoughts on what that's supposed to mean? Anyone? No? Looks like I'm muted. Alright, guess I'm solo speculating this time. That could mean the axe wants to use me for something first. What that might be, I'm not really sure, but all I know is that he had the Eternal Axe and chose not to erase me from this world. Moving on to the Trident Civilization, Tabby could be fighting Prince Zam as we speak, but the fact that both of them have eternal weapons raises the question, what happens to an eternal weapon when someone dies with it? Okay, now we get to the last part of this journal, which is why I kind of brought everyone here. After a lot of near-death experiences recently, I realized the importance of having the ability to respawn, which is why I'm proposing all 5 of us diamond swords share the respawn power. Now that we know there's a way back up to the wooden sword level from the outside, all of us can use the armor stand.
No, the respawn power isn't for us. Eppo will be the only one allowed to have it.
Wait, what? No, what do you mean? Wait, what? Why? Okay, this did not go the way I thought it was gonna go, so signing off?
It's decided then. None of us will be sharing this respawn power. As for the eternal weapons, I find it strange that this is now the second time Tabby has spared you. Whatever her motives are, I still think there's a slight possibility of changing her mind.
Maybe, but wait, are we not going to talk about what is going on? No one wants to respawn? I don't get it. Julie, help me out here. Why in the world would Foray say no to something like that?
Foray rarely speaks, so I can promise you he must have a good reason. But at the end of the day, none of us need a good reason to trust him. Foray is by far the most skilled out of all of us. I'm sure you've recognized that already. Before you got the power, he did exactly what you did to become a diamond sword. He figured out he had to break his sword on the armor stand, which led to him helping Wembu, Minitek, and I rank up. Back then, he had no reason to help us out, but he did anyways. So, even if you might not agree with his logic, we trust him all the way.
No, you see, that still doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, what could possibly be the downside of having you guys share the respawn power with me? Actually, you know what's even more strange is the fact that Foray had the respawn power himself. I can't think of a single reason as to why someone would give up the power of immortality. When did he get rid of it?
That, I don't exactly know.
What do you mean you don't know? That seems like a pretty big thing to know.
Do you think we would ask Foray every single time he dies if he has the respawn power? Obviously not.
Well, now you see you probably should have been asking.
But, thinking about it more, he must have given it up after he broke his sword, since I've never seen him die.
Wait, if you've never seen him die, do you think he's lying about not giving up the power?
What would he gain from lying about something like that?
I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, answer me this. How did he get so good at PvP?
I mean, you've gotten significantly better, haven't you? Both of you use your respawning ability to your benefit. You probably just use it differently than he did.
Wow, way to call out my shopping sprees. I guess that kind of makes sense. Foray must have been solely focused on getting better at PvP every time he died and respawned. I just don't get it. I don't know.
Don't worry about us. We can take care of our own without the respawn power.
I know you guys can. I just want to help.
I know you're here. Why am I still alive?
Because I'm allowing you to stay alive.
What do you want from me?
I want you to give up the respawn ability. Better yet, let me rephrase. If you don't give up the power, I won't let you respawn.
Why?
You, Foray, believe that one's PvP ability is the only metric that determines whether someone should live or die in this world. You and I are alike in the sense that we both share that philosophy. But the world doesn't need that right now. So you're gonna give the power up. And I will see to it that this power finds the right person.
PvP civilization is a complicated world. You would think it's not, given the fact that everyone has the same goal of living longer, but it's how people go about trying to survive that makes it complex. I mean, take a look at the bows. Their civilization was almost wiped out, and they decided that trusting me and the swords was their best chance at survival. People like Parrot try to survive by not fighting at all. However, given the rules of PvP civilization, that's a short-term solution. People buy items to try to live longer. Some people even think music helps you live longer, namely Wembu and I. It definitely doesn't though. And then there are more extreme solutions, like wiping out all natural-born swords, or trying to make yourself immortal. I guess the reason why I'm thinking about all of this is because I'm starting to question what makes someone good or bad in this world. I'm fighting for my friends to live longer, so how does that make me any different? I don't even know what to think anymore. Whoever that diamond axe was has me questioning everything.
I don't recall seeing you down here before. It's been a while since I've seen a new gold level guard. Were you born in the Bow civilization? See, that right there surprises me. The Bows have always been, really annoying. Like, they'll pay for information, don't get me wrong, but every single time you try to get more PvP attacks out of them, nope, they'll just ender pearl away.
I'm sorry, I have absolutely no clue what's going on.
That's why I'm here, to show you the importance of the shields in PvP civilization.
No way. I actually might be important?
You know what I need? I need a good shopping spree. Maybe buying more stuff will help me manage my existential crisis.
It will not, but we do need a plan on what to do next. We don't have much time before all eternal weapons are collected, and we don't know what follows when that happens.
Right, we still have no clue what Tabby wants to do with the eternal weapons, and we don't even know what the eternal weapons are capable of. How are we supposed to come up with a plan that will work when we don't even know what we're dealing with?
We may be lacking the knowledge our opponents have, but at least we know they are all in the same place.
That's true. Tabby and Prince Zam are both in the Trident civilization as we speak, so I guess this does give us a chance to think about what they're gonna do next. Alright, let's break this down. So we know Tabby's friend has the Eternal Axe on him, and if Tabby wins the fight against Prince Zam, she'll have the bow, trident, and sword in her possession. If Prince Zam wins the fight, he'll have the bow, trident, and sword, but not the axe. However, with those three, I'm sure he'll obtain the axe sooner than later.
Right, so the one item they'll both need is the one we need to go after. If we get to the Eternal Shield first, we finally might get some control of the situation.
Right, if we get the Eternal Shield and bring it back here, they'll have to come to us. Alright, find the Eternal Shield. Sounds like a plan. Wait, does that mean I can't go back to the Trident civilization?
I highly doubt the Eternal Shield would be in the Trident civilization, so I would say you're correct.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that. Fine, just let me hit a quick journal before I leave. Every time I step outside this civilization, it could be the end of me, and I would not want to die without getting at least one last update in. Alright, so the current plan is to find the Eternal Shield. Where do I find that? I have actually no clue. So the only course of action I have in mind is to find my guard friend, and maybe that will lead to something. Anyways, I am sad for two reasons. One, I cannot go to the PvP marketplace in the Trident civilization, and two, I do not know if Tabby survived the fight with Prince Zam. Both of those things are weighing on me pretty heavily, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm hoping for some good news in the future. Alright, signing off.
Why? Why am I thinking about this now?
Let's say we succeed. We get all 5 eternal weapons, and we get to change one thing about our universe.
We stop all swords from being born. There's no other way to save this world. Farming these wooden swords isn't a long-term solution. Eventually, one of them will become a netherite sword, and they'll wipe us all out again just like they did before. Stopping all swords from being born is mercy compared to what they did to our people. Is that still what I want? To stop the swords from being born? If I do that, what happens to him? He's a natural-born sword, and I've saved him twice now. What would my friends think of me if they were still alive? They would call me weak. They would call me a traitor. They would never forgive me for showing sympathy to a sword, and they would be disappointed that I forgot they died at the hands of one. I'm not making the mistake of forgetting my friends ever again. Clownpierce and the other natural-born axes are the only people I care about.
Must be my lucky day. Looks like I get to sit back and watch this time.
About time you showed up. What took you so long? Are you okay?
I actually just took a little detour. Bought myself a brand new fishing rod. Thank you for asking.
This is not real. I thought those days were behind me. Just get over here and help me get rid of this guy. I've landed too many attacks to count and he still won't die.
Go ahead and sit this one out. You rest up at home. I'll bring back the trident.
What? What are you talking about? Let's just end this right here together.
You have to trust me on this. I have a plan that won't work unless you leave. So go.
Fine. Just stay alive.
Prince Sam. A trident who was cast out from his own civilization. So I've heard. I'll make this quick. I want you to give me the trident.
I'm curious to hear a reason as to why I should do that.
I'm gonna make the assumption that you have the respawn power. It's highly unlikely you made it out of the sword civilization without it, which means you want the eternal weapons to keep your borrowed immortality. Of course, Evbo is technically the owner of it, so to speak. But holding every eternal weapon and getting rid of Evbo are two difficult things to achieve by yourself. So that is why this offer guarantees a better chance at erasing Evbo, and a way to lead the entire Trident civilization. I can tell you're not convinced yet, so allow me to fill you in on our plan to erase the swords.
The last time I saw my guard friend, we were in the Bow civilization together. We probably could have been together for longer if I didn't, well, throw my sword in the item frame. But what happened happened, and while he was very disappointed, I just have to hope that we are still on speaking terms. If we are, then I should be able to find him at our usual spot in the Iron Sword level. But if we aren't, which is a possibility given the severity of my mistake, then finding the Eternal Shield might be a lost cause.
I have to go down. Staying here is only making things worse for the swords. Why am I hesitating? Evbo wouldn't let me die. But then again, he doesn't speak for the rest of the swords. They might just send me outside and I'll be forced on... What the... You're one of the diamond swords?
Yep, that's right. I am a diamond sword.
What are you doing here?
So Evbo said he would share the respawn power with us. But I think I might have missed it. Can you remind me where it is again?
You look a little too comfortable. See what sends you to get rid of me?
What? Look, I don't even know you.
So, it's the respawn power he's after then. I already let the swords down once. I'm not making that mistake again.
Wait, hold on.
Whoa, what is this place?
This is PvP Civilization's biggest secret.
So, only diamond shields can access this place?
I'm the only diamond shield alive, so I like to say I'm the only one who can access this place.
Why is this place so hard to get to?
Because it holds the power to change the world, which is why it's our job to keep it hidden.
So you're saying these 5 armor stands are meant for the eternal weapons? And hitting all 5 with each eternal weapon lets the person who uses them wish for anything they want? That seems dangerous.
It is, but nothing to worry about. Collecting all eternal items is nearly impossible. It's only been done once.
I think I get it, but where's the eternal shield?
It could be you, it could be me, it could be any shield that's born. If a diamond shield receives enough PvP attacks, they will become the eternal shield, which is why us shields are so important in this world. If we never let ourselves become the eternal shield, we prevent PvP civilization from falling apart.
When I got to the guard door, I did not find my friend waiting for me. So my plan to find the Eternal Shield was already off to a poor start. Honestly, I'm not even sure why I thought this would work, but I guess this just points out how unprepared we are. People like Tabby and Prince Zam have been plotting for days to erase us swords from this universe. And somehow the best solution I come up with is just to wait in front of this door until it opens.
If you're gonna be here for a while, can you let me know now so I can do myself a favor and leave?
Yeah, I might be here for a little longer. Why have you just had yourself locked inside of a cell?
Bro, this isn't a prison. These rooms are literally for the shields to stay in.
Okay, didn't know that. Sorry for interrupting then. But while you're here, I have a job for you.
Nope, I am done taking bribes from players. After that Prince Zam guy tried attacking me, I've changed my ways.
No, I get it, man. I would totally turn down being a gold level guard too if I were you. Within a few short moments, the guard was back to accepting bribes. And after a few PvP attacks, the guard's iron level helmet finally broke. Alright, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna wait for that to grow back or whatever it does. And then you're gonna open this door and you and I both are gonna figure out what being a gold level shield gives us access to.
So let me get this straight. Shields are born into all 4 civilizations, and we're supposed to be the ones to stop any one civilization from getting too powerful? But we can't do anything against the Axes?
Diamond shields can withstand attacks from the axes, but still, not much I can do against an entire civilization.
Eventually, after what seemed like ages, I looked up to see that the guard had become a gold level guard. If what my friend told me was true, being a gold level guard allows you to access other civilizations through an underground tunnel system. How this will connect me to the Eternal Shield, I have absolutely no clue. But this is the best idea I have, so down we go. It felt like I was climbing down these ladders forever. Granted, we were still pretty high up in the Sword Civilization, but I had a strong feeling that we were now beneath all of PvP Civilization. We finally made it to the bottom where I saw the guard I was with open a door that had a golden border on it, and what was behind it, I was not exactly ready for. I stepped into a giant underground hallway that had red pillars lining the walls. Now, it's no surprise that this place is meant for the shields, but this was crazy. An entire underground system that only shields have access to. I wonder why.
So, what's the plan here? This is my first time here, so I really don't know what I'm doing.
Wait, you're not coming with me, bro. I don't know why you thought that. Yeah, you just gotta keep the door open.
Wait, what do you mean? I thought we were sticking together for this.
Bro, the last time you saw me, you locked me in a cell, so no, you're not coming with me. Just don't follow me, okay? You can come back another time. There's only one shield in PvP Civilization that I trust to accompany me on a journey, so I gotta stay loyal to him. I ran down the hallway for what seemed like hours until I finally saw something different up ahead. The hallway gave way to a circular room that split off into different directions. And what do you know? Well, these new hallways had different colored pillars, resembling the other civilizations. What stuck out to me the most, though, was this giant rectangular door in the middle of the room. At the base of the door, there were diamond-colored blocks, so I guess that means probably only diamond-level shields can open it. Speaking of diamond-level shields, I've never seen one, until now. I turned the corner and one was just standing there right in front of me.
Yo, who's there? God, my eyes are so blurry. I can't even see, bro.
It's Evbo. I'm a diamond sword. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Okay. In that case, I definitely cannot let you be down here. Just give me a few seconds. Sorry, I'm waiting on my vision to come back. Just went blind for a couple of minutes.
Is getting blinded a usual thing for you?
You think that's normal? You think it's a normal thing to just randomly go blind? Do you?
Whoa, chill. Okay, sorry. That was a bad question. I was just trying to make conversation, you know? I haven't seen a diamond shield before. What's a better question? Why were you blinded?
That is a better question. And to answer that, I honestly have zero clue. I thought I would be the one taken, but when I woke up, the gold level shield was the one missing.
Wait, hold on. You said gold shield and missing. What do you mean?
I'm saying I think the Axis took the gold shield I was with.
There's no way it was my friend, right? Did you happen to catch the gold shield's name?
No. Do you know his name?
No, but he's got a gold shield, leather armor. Okay, I see the problem now. Okay, if that was my guard friend, why would the Axis take him? Look, I need to get into the Axe civilization. Can you help me do that?
I'm sorry, but that's not happening. Out of all of the civilizations, the Axes are the one place the shields don't go. The Axes thrive off of eliminating shields. So if that was your friend, I doubt he's still alive.
For whatever reason, this diamond shield wasn't even accepting bribes. And then I realized these high-level shields can apparently knock players back really far. While that was a cool discovery, learning that my guard friend might be captured and possibly even dead, well, that was not good at all. And now that I know that shields don't even go to the Axe civilization, I'm gonna have to go in through the front door.
This is the right shield, correct?
Yeah, this is the guard that sticks with Evbo. I still don't get why you need him specifically. If there was a diamond shield, this would have been much faster.
I guess you don't remember the time I helped save your life, right?
Clown Pierce was the one who brought you here. If it was up to me, I would have found someone else. Out of all the places to trap him, why choose the one place where a shield is most likely to die?
You'll be fine here. The wooden axes don't do enough damage anyway to pose a threat. I've got something I need to do while you farm the shield. Do me a favor and stay alive for a few minutes.
Clown, wait. I need you to help me understand something. Your axe durability. It makes no sense. We both know the eternal weapons can't be used to buy anything. So between the blocks and all the potions, you shouldn't be alive. You told me once I had a longer life than you did, and since then, I've defeated more players than you. Yet my axe is almost broken. It just doesn't add up.
So, now we're counting swings? You don't have to worry about me, Tabby. I've got all the PvP attacks I need to keep going.
Alright, we are back from our journey to find the Eternal Shield. Did not find it, nor did I get any information at all about where it might be. At this point, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I honestly feel like I haven't done a single thing to prevent the Axes from getting the Eternal Weapons. And for all I know, they might already have all of them. So at this point, is it even worth going outside of the Sword Civilization? Our chances of getting our hands on the Eternal Weapons, or at least getting back the Eternal Sword, are pretty much gone. I guess the only thing we can do is just to stick together and fight for the rest of our lives. Anyways, had to cut the video journal short because Wembu said there was an emergency. I don't know what that means, so signing off.
Because I'm allowing you to stay alive. If you don't give up the power, I won't let you respawn. PvP ability is the only that determines whether someone should live or die in this world.
Something was happening. Wembu was sprinting as fast as he could, but didn't say a single word. We arrived to see Foray, Minitek, and Julie just standing in a circle, staring at nothing. But then, I saw it. In the middle of all 5 of us, there was this faint distortion in the air. So small, it's a miracle how the Diamond Swords even found this. But this wasn't a thing. It was a person. A person who was prepared to fight Julie, Minitek, Foray, me, and Wembu all by themselves. Whoever this player was, I already knew it wasn't Tabby, because this was someone who wasn't afraid to be caught. Someone who wasn't afraid to fight. This could be it. This could be my last day alive in PvP Civilization. If I don't fight with every ounce of strength I have, I'll die here without knowing if the other Diamond Swords made it out alive. It all comes down to this fight. If the Diamond Swords and I can defeat this player holding the Diamond Axe, we can survive. But this blindness is complicating things, so much that you can't even tell who you're fighting until you're a couple blocks away.
Okay, at least you're still alive. Come on, this fight's not over yet. We need to stick together.
Julie was right. We needed to be sticking together, but it was impossible to do that when we would lose each other in a matter of seconds. In an ideal world, we should have had a plan to prepare for this, but we didn't. So for now, I have to worry about my own survival. I was running around with just 2 hearts, and 1 hit from the Eternal Axe might mean I never spawn in this world again. I don't even know how this happened. We had the Diamond Axe surrounded. He was completely cornered against 5 Diamond Swords. No one should have been able to get out of a situation like that, but before we knew it, he threw down a potion and we were fighting in the dark. So far, I only knew of Julie being alive, but a few seconds later, I found Minitek.
Go hide in your room while we fight this. We can't have you die.
I wanted to help the Diamond Swords fight, but it looks like Minitek had a different idea. He wants me to hide so I don't risk dying permanently and giving up the respawn power. As much as the plan makes sense, what good would me hiding in here do if the Diamond Swords can't win the fight? I just have to trust them, I guess. Wait, Wembu?
Evbo, we need to fight as a team to beat this guy.
I know, I agree. I want to fight, but Minitek told me to hide here. Wait, did he tell you that too?
No, I was just catching my breath. But we have to fight. We can't let the others die.
As much as I trusted Minitek's strategy, I had to follow Wembu on this one. I wasn't weak anymore. I could fight, and me being on the battlefield might just help my family stay alive. I thought I caught up to Wembu when I heard the sound of PvP attacks, but as I got closer, I saw Foray fighting the Diamond Axe all by himself. The Diamond Axe must have been low on health because he took off running after the exchange. But instead of pursuing him, Foray backed off and told me to group up with the other Diamond Swords. I was just about to follow him, but then I stopped. The Diamond Axe was weak, he had to be, and I was at full health. I already knew all 4 Diamond Swords were still alive. So if I end this right here, we all walk away from this. I chased after the Diamond Axe until suddenly the darkness lifted, and I just barely caught a glimpse of the axe climbing the ladder to the Video Journal headquarters. This player was trapped. There was nowhere for him to run. So despite Minitek and Foray telling me to back off, I wasn't gonna waste this chance. When I got to the top of the ladder, I saw the player holding the Eternal Axe, but I didn't hesitate. I knew this player was weak, and he was just trying to use the Eternal Axe to make me lose my focus. I got hit down the ladder, but managed to catch myself with 5.5 hearts left. This wasn't the time to give up now. One more hit could be the difference between life and death for my friends. I don't know why this Diamond Axe spared my life before, and while that question's gonna weigh on me, I can't afford the time to find the answer. I have to end this now. My friends' lives are in danger. What? I don't understand. Who are you?
Evbo, I wanted to apologize for not keeping my word. I told you before that I would help the swords fight extinction, and since then, all I've done is make that goal harder to achieve. So I'm not going to wait here any longer questioning whether the other Diamond Swords will trust me or not. I'm coming down there. But I'm bringing with me a plan to help you and the swords protect your respawn power and stay alive. There's a bow here at the Iron Sword level, and while fighting him, I learned that he paid a shield for information about Evbo's room at the Wooden Sword level. Knowing this helped me come up with a plan to protect Evbo every time he respawns. If the Diamond Swords don't trust me when I get down there, I'll understand. But at least I'll go back to my civilization knowing I did everything I could to help the swords survive. So, allow me to explain my plan.
You'd be surprised to see how easy it is to become friends with your enemy in PvP Civilization. I mean, it's not easy given the fact that people usually fight before they even get the chance to talk, but if you do get the chance to talk to your enemy, you start to realize that we're all just kind of the same. It doesn't matter if you're a sword, shield, bow, axe, or trident, everyone just wants to protect themselves and the people they care about. Oh, I'm not joking, I bought 5 of these. Diamond Sword got down to 61 PvP attacks, but I didn't even care.
1,500 PvP attacks in one trip is impressive, but it doesn't come close to my record of 3,000.
Oh, of course you have the record. Will you buy potions and food and stuff? Try buying stuff that actually has no value. Am I upset that my new friend Clown Pierce is a better spender than I am? Yes, a little, but it's kind of awesome having someone that just gets me, you know? Anyways, quick journal this time because Clown Pierce and I are going to the Axe Civilization. The other Diamond Swords are going to be very confused, but rest assured they will be safe. And that's all that really matters to me, so on that note, signing off.
Why haven't we found Evbo yet?
He's probably still in his room. I told him to hide.
I have a feeling he might not be there.
I didn't expect the Diamond Swords to understand why I was leaving the Sword Civilization with the same person we were just fighting against. I wish I could just tell them what was going on, but apparently the less people that know about this plan, the better. Julie, stop! We don't need to fight.
Evbo, what are you doing?
Clown Pierce and I are going to the Axe Civilization. I promise you guys that this will all make sense soon, but just believe me that you guys are safe.
How do we know that's true? Tell us what's going on.
Julie, you told me once before that you didn't need a good reason to trust Foray, so all I'm asking is just for you to do the same with me. Do you trust me?
Yes, I do.
I'll see you guys soon, okay?
I don't understand. That diamond axe could end his life at any given moment. Why would Evbo take that risk?
Because it's not a diamond axe. He's a sword.
I hadn't seen a player with a netherite sword before. To be honest, I almost forgot a natural-born sword could become one. But why did this diamond axe have one? Where did you get that?
I was born with it. Well, I was born with a wooden one, but I worked my way up.
Had this player been holding a diamond sword, I wouldn't have believed him. After all, this was our enemy. But only a natural-born sword can become a netherite sword. So he's not lying. He's one of us. You've been a natural-born sword this entire time? Why are you fighting us?
I do apologize for that. I've been playing the role of a natural-born axe for too long, but I needed to draw you away somehow.
Okay, I don't even know what's going on anymore. My brain's gonna explode. You're one of us. You're a natural-born sword, but not just any sword. You're a netherite sword, so you have infinite durability, and you've been pretending to be a diamond axe this entire time and collecting the eternal weapons with Wait, Tabby doesn't know you're a sword.
No, she doesn't. And because of that, we pulled off the impossible of collecting all 5 eternal weapons. I expect she'll figure out who I am sooner than later. Of course, I'm hoping that our plan to save the world will help distract her from the pain.
Hearing the player known as Clown Pierce say that reminded me of myself. I thought Tabby was a sword for my entire life, and Tabby spent her life thinking that Clown Pierce has been an axe. Hold up, you didn't say your plan to save the world, you said our plan. You drew me away from the other diamond swords for a reason, right? I watched as Clown Pierce walked over to the video journal machine. Honestly, this right here might have been the moment where Clown Pierce and I became friends. I could tell right away, this guy appreciated a good video journal. So much that he incorporated video journals into his plan to save the world. Before meeting Clown Pierce, I thought this machine right here was only used to make copies of all video journals that have been recorded. But apparently, this master video journal machine can be used to share video messages through any machine in the world. So, you placed a video journal machine in every civilization and you're sending a message to all of them?
We're not sending it just yet, but once we're ready, yes, all civilizations will see this.
Don't tell me you're... No way you're gonna live record this right here! Okay, if this is going to all civilizations, I have to be in this.
If you were in this, the plan wouldn't work.
No, you can't do this to me. I can't be in the most important video journal of all time.
You're just gonna have to sit back and watch this time.
After the video journal was over, Clownpierce put away his diamond axe and grabbed the video journal log. Witnessing the message Clownpierce was gonna send to all other civilizations left me speechless. First off, his performance was legendary. I mean, I was starting to doubt my own video journaling capabilities, but it was the complexity of his plan that had me at a loss for words. Clownpierce has been plotting this before I was even born into PvP Civilization, and somehow I ended up being the one he chose to help make this plan come true. So after we go to the Axe Civilization, I'm gonna be the one that comes back here and sends the message to every civilization. After that message is out in the world, well, nothing will ever be the same after that. The thing about Clownpierce's plan is I wasn't just being used as the messenger for his video journal. I was the main part of the plan. With the message he recorded for the other civilizations, I had a lot of questions about my role in saving the world. Apparently though, Clown was gonna answer all my questions, which was a relief because I am tired of not knowing anything. I thought we were going to the Axe Civilization, but Clownpierce took a detour and started running to the structure at the center of our world. I thought he was leading me back to the top of the Sword Civilization, but instead he started swimming up the waterfall. Out of all the times I've been to the center of PvP Civilization, I've never been to the top of this structure. When I made it up there, Clownpierce and I were standing there surrounded by 5 giant statues. The carvings of the Eternal Bow, the Eternal Axe, the Eternal Trident, and the Eternal Sword stood tall in each corner. And above us, completely suspended in the air, was a giant rock in the shape of the Eternal Shield. We were standing in the true origin of every player in PvP Civilization. Every player that's not a shield, of course, but every sword, trident, bow, or axe, they all spawn from this place. In fact, while Clownpierce was telling me this, we saw a newborn trident just spawn in right in front of us. But Clownpierce didn't bring me all the way up here just to show me that. I saw him standing below the statue of the broken Eternal Sword, and he began to tell me a story that explains everything as to why the swords face extinction and why the eternal weapons are so important in this world. It was the story of the first player in PvP Civilization. The first player was born as a sword, and they were far more skilled at any other player in PvP, so much that they were able to collect every eternal item by themselves. By then, the other civilizations were already fighting each other for survival, which is what led the original sword to use the power of the eternal weapons. Within the structure at the center of PvP Civilization, the original player hit 5 armor stands with every eternal weapon, granting them 1 wish. In an effort to make sure that the sword civilization lives on, the player wished for the infinite durability of the eternal sword to be shared with every natural-born sword. Whoa, so that's why it's broken, right? Every natural-born sword has like a little piece of the eternal sword in them.
That wish is what paved the way for the swords to ruin the world.
What do you mean, ruin the world? What happened?
Can you stop putting your shield up? This is just wasting time for both of us.
If what I'm doing helps Evbo and the other swords, then it seems like there couldn't be a better use of my time.
Let's not pretend you were sticking with Evbo for any other reason than to get more PvP attacks. Despite what you might think of me, we're actually trying to save the world here.
You know, Evbo still talks about you all the time, right? You might not care at all, but to him, you're still his best friend. I remember when Evbo first saw you, and already he was bribing me for a chance just to talk to you again.
Is there a point you're getting at here? Because I'd rather not listen to this.
My point is, Evbo isn't like you, or me, or the rest of the world. Everyone in PvP Civilization just cares about themselves. But Evbo was the guy that let himself die over and over just to save you.
I wouldn't have needed saving if the swords never took my life away. I was a wooden axe when the swords invaded our civilization. I remember sitting around that campfire with all of the other wooden axes talking about how incredible life would be if we were to become diamond axes. None of us had even landed a single PvP attack on anyone in this world, yet that didn't stop the swords from wiping them all out. I wish I could have gone with them that day, but instead, I was the only one who bothered to fight back, and you know what that got me? A life of watching my friends die, over and over. The swords kept me alive, and would only return when I've made a new friend for them to take away. They left me with no choice but to attack my own people to make myself stronger, to give myself a chance to end my own suffering. The funny part is, some of those swords were already netherite swords. They didn't need to rank up their sword. They didn't need durability. They did it because they enjoyed it. You're right. Evbo might be better than both of us, but I can't forgive the swords for what they did to me.
Clownpierce spent the next few minutes explaining every aspect of his plan to save the world, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the amount of thought that went into this plan. I mean, if we pull this off, we'd be getting rid of violence in a world that only knows how to survive with violence. Of course, the only way this happens is if I agree to do it. But honestly, this is the first time in my life where I actually feel like I know what I'm supposed to do. I've said before that I believe there's more to this world than fighting just to live longer. And if I do this, we might actually find out what that world looks like. Well, this was it. The plan to save the world was set, and I was on board. However, in order for the plan to succeed, there were still a couple more things needed to be done, which is why Clownpierce and I were traveling to the one civilization I haven't been to yet. The Axes are supposedly the most ruthless players in PvP Civilization. And yes, I'm aware I'm just walking right in with a sword, but apparently I'll be fine. I don't know, I'm still very much doubting that. Regardless, this is the place I need to be, because Tabby's in here, and she is a part of this plan too. At the entrance to the Axe civilization, Clownpierce and I split up to go our separate ways. He was going to set up the last video journal needed so that the Axes would see his message. Yes, obviously I was disappointed that that wasn't my job, but I had a task of my own. I was going to go talk to my best friend, and hopefully not die this time. My last two interactions with Tabby have ended with me dying, and yes, I know last time she technically saved my life, but I still died, so my point still stands. Being in the Axe civilization was crazy. Apparently Clownpierce sent me to the area of the civilization that only had wooden axes in it, so I guess I'm relatively safe here. I didn't really know what I was supposed to be looking for. Clownpierce just said that Tabby would be here. I didn't even see anyone here, to be honest, but a few seconds later, I caught the glimpse of a diamond axe standing directly in front of me. I already knew from Clownpierce that she was still alive, but well, this was the first time seeing her with my own eyes.
What are you doing here? I gave you a chance to live longer, and now you come here? Are you trying to die?
Hearing Tabby be concerned about my survival kind of made me think that I might not die for the third time. It's okay, I'm not trying to die. Well, at least not now, that is. But Clownpierce was the one who brought me here. We came here together, and right now he's, well, I actually don't know what he's doing, but he's here. And he brought me here to help you guys use the eternal weapons.
Why would Clownpierce bring you here to help us? And why would I ever believe that you would help us get rid of your own family?
Because I know what you've been through. I know you've lost everyone you've ever cared about. And if I went through what you did, I also probably wouldn't allow myself to trust a sword. You might not believe me, but you're my best friend. And if you believe that wiping out the swords is the best way to achieve peace, then I'm gonna stick with you. I do have one request though, if you're willing. It's not that crazy. I just want to know if my guard friend's alive. I didn't expect this request to go through, to be honest, but then I realized I was standing in front of my guard friend this entire time. You've been here through this whole conversation? Sorry, man, I didn't know you became a diamond shield.
Buddy, does it look like I even had the choice to become one?
Well, you became one anyways, so congrats.
Can you just tell her to let me out?
Okay, so here's the weird part. We actually do need you to become the Eternal Shield, but I already talked with Clownpierce, and once you give the Eternal Shield, you'll be fine. All right, well, Tabby, thanks for letting me stay alive this time. I have to do something real quick, but I'll be back.
Wait. You know what we plan to do with the Eternal Weapons, so you must know that there's a chance this gets rid of you for good.
Yeah, I know. In fact, I'm counting on dying, but lately I've been thinking a lot about something. When I was a wooden sword, I thought my enemy was the one I was supposed to fight. That player gave his life for me, and now when I look back, I realize he was never my enemy to begin with. The bows, axes, and tridents all think the swords are the enemy, so maybe it just takes dying for them to realize that we're not. You know what I think? I think it's easy to fight back against your enemy, and I think it's hard to forgive your enemy, but someone who gives you their life, that's someone who's never been your enemy.
There's something we need to discuss, but before we do that, I want to apologize for not being upfront about this.
The Diamond Swords let me back into the Sword Civilization, but I still owed them a big explanation. I promised them that after I do this one last thing, I will give them the entire plan, start to finish, and everything will make sense after that. So that brings us to the last task, which is showing Clownpierce's message to the entire world. I was just about to send it, but then I realized there was already a journal in here, and it was from Parrot. Huh, alright, well I guess I can afford a couple minutes to watch this.
Allow me to explain my plan. The respawn power is currently owned by you. You're the one who bought the room, but Prince Zam is proof that others can use the armor stand as long as they get access to it. And obviously that makes dying something risky for you, who shouldn't be worried about dying. Stopping other people from getting access to the armor stand is necessary to protect you, which is where the information I learned comes in. You can only close your door from the inside, so anytime you leave to rank up, any player has the time to steal the power for themselves. However, according to the shield, your door closes 30 seconds after you rank up to become a stone sword. Knowing this, the diamond swords can use this information to protect you every time you respawn. If the diamond swords teleport back to the wooden sword level every time they anticipate you dying, they can guard the door until it closes, and no one will be able to steal the power. All it takes is 30 seconds of waiting, and the respawn power will be guarded from anyone on the outside. Going through this routine might give you all an opening to get rid of Prince Sam's respawn ability as well, which is necessary to make this plan effective. If this plan is done right, the swords might just have the strength to outlast whatever comes next with the eternal weapons.
I'm not gonna lie, seeing a video journal message from Parrot always gets me a little nervous. I mean, before this one, he was like 2 for 2 for sharing the worst messages possible. However, this message, I was not expecting at all. I will say, Clownpierce and I already have the plan laid out to save the world, but honestly, Parrot's idea changes the entire game. His idea might have just been the missing piece that will tie this whole thing together and make this work. Alright, it's time to send the message. Once I send this, the bows will see it, the tridents will see it, and the axes will see it. And after that, well, it's just me against the whole world. Alright, let's do it. It's kind of crazy how my entire life has revolved around video journal machines. What used to be just a waste of PvP attacks is now gonna be the one thing that helps save the world. This master video journal machine will be able to send the message Clownpierce recorded to every other civilization. The message that I didn't get to be a part of. I'm not happy about it, but I guess being the one to share the message is equally important. Wait, what is this? Live broadcast? I haven't used the master video journal machine before, but I mean, I guess that kind of sounds like share, right? Yeah, it's gotta be the same thing. Alright, I guess I'm live broadcasting this to everyone. Let's do this. I gotta say, this machine is the one thing in PvP Civilization that's never let me down. I mean, it just does everything. Communication, emotional reflection. It's just so cool. Alright, is this thing working? Hey, it's me. Hey, it's me. Whoa, it's playing back my voice. Whoa, it's playing back my voice. Why is it playing back my... Wait, I'm live right now. That's what live broadcast means? I hit stop on the live broadcast as soon as possible, but the damage might have already been done. What is wrong with me? I just ruined the plan to save the world. Possibly. I don't know. What did I even say? I don't think I gave anything away, did I? Oh, I had one job to share a message, and I already messed it up. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna share the message, and I'm gonna hope that all of PvP Civilization just forgets about that. I opened the video journal machine and actually hit the right button this time. Now, Clownpierce's message was being broadcasted all over PvP Civilization, which is what should have been playing instead of a zoomed-in shot of my face. So now it's time to fill the other diamond swords in on the entire plan to save the world. Because once Clownpierce's message finishes, the world's gonna change, and we're gonna have to be ready for it.
Hello, PvP Civilization. If you're seeing this message, I would like to apologize on behalf of the Axis for the losses suffered on all sides of this battle. The Axis and I now have possession over all 5 eternal weapons, and with each civilization being reduced to a fraction of what they once were, fighting back against us would be meaningless. Fortunately, we all serve to benefit from the eternal weapons. The first player to ever use the eternal weapons gave the swords the power to become immortal. I plan on using the eternal weapons to take that power away. After today, no player shall ever become a netherite sword again. However, that doesn't mean the swords are no longer a threat. The diamond sword that goes by the name of Evbo will still have the respawn ability.
Once Clownpierce uses the weapons, no natural-born sword will be able to become a netherite sword ever again, and all the other civilizations will know that I'm the one with the respawn ability.
Hold up, how is telling literally everyone about your power going to save the world? Now everyone is gonna come after you.
I don't get it. In your message, you're telling the entire world that I have the respawn ability. How is that gonna help us save PvP Civilization? That sounds like I'm just gonna die.
Saving everyone will only be possible if you're the common enemy. Only when the whole world is against you will you have the chance to prove you're not the enemy.
This has been Clownpierce's plan from the beginning, to have me be the common enemy for the bows, axes, and tridents. If all other civilizations are focused on getting rid of me, well, that's the attention I need if I'm gonna change their perceptions about the swords. But me becoming the target isn't just about saving the other diamond swords, it's about saving everyone. So before Clownpierce told me the rest of the plan, I already knew what the solution was. That's kind of the point. I need to be the target for this plan to work.
I understand your reasoning, but think about where this positions us. Protecting you will be a much harder task now that everyone has you as their target.
Well, that's why I'm not allowing you guys to fight, believe it or not. Your guys' job of protecting me is over. Well, actually, Parrot had an interesting addition to this plan, so it might not be entirely over. But the fight against the other civilizations is a fight that I can't have you guys be a part of. You guys protecting me won't help convince the other civilizations that the swords aren't the enemy, and you might die in the process.
Okay, but how are you going to survive this by yourself? Fighting one person is difficult as is. How are you going to defeat the bows, axes, and tridents?
I'm with you there. Fighting off 3 civilizations isn't exactly easy, but I never said I would be alone.
The fight to eliminate Evbo will be PvP Civilization's greatest battle. Not only can he respawn himself, but he has now shared his ability with a powerful ally. The diamond axe that goes by the name of Tabby has betrayed our own civilization by siding with Evbo, and now possesses the respawn ability herself. Both of these players need to be eliminated if we are to survive in PvP Civilization.
Quick, follow me!
Are you sure Tabby's gonna even go for this plan? I mean, what if she just decides that she's better off on her own? How do you know she'll protect me?
Because she cares about you, and now that I've given her the option of surviving by herself or surviving with you, I'm confident she will make the right choice.
Clownpear's lying about Tabby having the respawn power just to turn the whole world against her was pretty cruel, I had to admit. And he did that knowing Tabby would have to push aside her hatred for the swords if she wants to survive. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but, well, if it does, I guess I gotta thank my wingman Clownpear's for bringing back my best friend.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're gonna have Tabby be the one to help you fight against the world? You die every time you're with her.
No, actually the last time I did not die, I'll have you know. And there's also no guarantee that she even follows through with this plan. Honestly, she might be strong enough to survive on her own without our help. But it's funny you bring up me dying around her because, well, if this plan's gonna work, I need to die. And strangely, Tabby's kind of the only one I trust to make that happen.
Both Tabby and Evbo will continue to respawn with every death, unless they are taken out by an eternal weapon. And while I possess all of them currently, they will be returned. Once I use the power of all 5 weapons, each one will appear back in its rightful civilization, and you all will have the strength to fight back against Evbo and Tabby. The world depends on your ability to fight alongside your enemies. So fight until you no longer know who your enemy is.
So this is the block then. The block that marks the center point of all 4 civilizations in this world. And this is gonna be the spot where I fight and die every single day for the rest of my life. But if all goes right, well, the fighting part goes away, only the dying stays. Honestly, it kind of seems counterintuitive to fight them before I'm purposely dying and giving them my sword durability. I mean, we could be doing this forever and all the other civilizations might not even recognize I'm trying to lengthen their lifespans.
Which is why this will take time. You'll have to win over and over again, but only to the point where they can no longer fight back.
Okay, but tell me why I can't just come right here and drop my sword on the ground? I mean, if I drop my sword, I'll die anyways, and it's a lot less threatening than fighting.
You don't die instantly after dropping your sword. An enemy could easily erase you while your guard is down. Tabby is your only guarantee that you'll respawn.
Clownpear's had a point. This plan only works with the absolute guarantee that I can respawn, so I can keep giving every player my durability. Alright, well, looks like Tabby's gonna be my best friend and my executioner.
This is insane. We can't let you do this. You know what it's like to be farmed for your durability, so why would you willingly give that opportunity to our enemies?
They're not our enemies. We have to stop thinking like that. They're all just people trying to survive in a system that gives them such little life to begin with. It's not their fault for thinking the swords are the enemy when the swords before us gave them no other choice than to resort to violence. But it would be my fault if I didn't give them the choice we have now. Even if we fight back and spare the other civilizations, it won't be enough to stop the cycle of violence. But me giving them my life over and over might actually end it.
So, when exactly did you become this philosophical?
Look, I've been telling you this from the start. Video journaling and self-reflection goes a long way.
If this really is the plan, and you think it'll work, then we're with you.
Good. Now we just gotta wait here for the eternal weapons to be used, and the plan to save the world will begin.
What did you do? How did that journal machine get there? You placed it and turned my people against me. Why?
It wasn't him. It was me. I placed the journal, and I told the Axis you betrayed our civilization.
Why? Why would you ever do something like that to me? I thought you were the only one I could trust in this. What? Clown, what is this?
And over the sword and the bow, Tabby.
How do you know for certain that Tabby will give up the Eternal Sword and the Eternal Bow?
Because I think I have a good idea of what she's going through. She's probably just finding out now that her best friend has been a sword this entire time. So to her, the eternal weapons and the plan to wipe out the swords, they don't mean anything anymore.
Your anger for the swords is all you've known. But since we're friends, I thought I'd leave you with a gift. The netherite sword stole your life. It's only fair that I repay that debt. So your anger for the swords dies here with me. And you can live on knowing I was never your enemy.
Before we go through with this, you don't happen to have a spare video journal on you, do you?
I thought the diamond swords and I were gonna stand here looking all cool, waiting for the eternal weapons to be used, but they just left me. Granted, we've been waiting for a while, and I actually have no clue when the eternal weapons are gonna be used. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know how I'm gonna know if the eternal weapons are used. I mean, there's gotta be some sort of signal, right? I don't know, I guess we'll see. Anyways, Wenbu told me I got a video journal message, which was surprising, because I don't really know who would be sending me messages. Maybe this is the signal from Clownpierce I was waiting for. Or it could just be Parrot having second thoughts about becoming a diamond sword. That guy can't seem to make up his mind. Alright, let's see what we got here. Wait, what is this?
Man, this is strange. Didn't think I'd ever be doing one of these, but, well, I guess you got your wish, right, Evbo? I don't know if this is gonna be any good or not, but I won't be around for much longer anyways, so I suppose it doesn't matter too much.
Not gonna be around for much longer. Hey, come on, what are you doing?
I'll admit, I was a little scared when Clownpierce said this would be a one-way trip, but I don't know. Something inside of me seemed to be waiting for the chance to finally do something good for this world.
No, come on, this is not real. He has to be waiting at that door, right? He has to be.
For a while, I've been wondering what it means to be a shield in PvP civilization. It didn't make sense to me that our only purpose as shields was to make the lives harder for the players fighting to survive in PvP civilization. But when I met that diamond level shield, I realized we do have a purpose. We just lost our way.
Come on, you're not dying on me like this. You're not just gonna leave me a message.
Somewhere in our past, shields used to be the ones to protect people. The ones to provide some sort of balance to this world. And when I look back at our journey, well, I didn't really do that job at all. But I'm not gonna have that be what I'm remembered for. Not by you, at least. You and Clownpierce are giving everything you have to this plan to save the world. Using the eternal weapons will cost him his life, and if he succeeds, you'll be giving your life to PvP civilization every single day. So it wouldn't be fair for me to stop that from happening just to save my own life. After each eternal weapon is used, they all go back to their own civilizations. But I am the shield, so I guess I'll just disappear, maybe? Man, I can't believe how much I sound like you right now, when you just start saying anything that comes to mind. Oh, this journal is definitely getting too long. Maybe not for your standards, but definitely for mine. So I'm just gonna wrap this up. I hope you go on to save a lot of lives. And to be honest, I'm confident that you will. Because I don't think there's anyone out there that comes close to your ability to die. Actually, you know what's funny? When you were a wooden sword, I bet on you to die.
Open the door, come on, please just open the door.
Well now, I'm betting on you to live. Oh, and one last thing. My name is Teddy. I guess that makes us friends now.
I stood in front of the guard door waiting for it to open, but as much as I yelled and as much as I hit it with my sword, nothing happened. I didn't know it at the time, but that fifth boom I heard was the last thing I would ever hear from my guard friend. No, the last thing I would hear from Teddy ever again. If I had known that, I wouldn't have spent as much time as I did swinging at a door that would never open. To my surprise, well, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise given the fact that I stood there for such a long time, but the door ended up opening. I don't know how she got there, but I turned around to see someone just as broken as I was staring back at me. Both of us had just lost, and there was nothing more to say. I don't know what Clownpierce told Tabby right before he died, but whatever he said brought back the look I saw in Tabby when we were both swords. We barely spoke a word to each other, but I already knew she was gonna stick by my side. It didn't seem fair to me that I had to lose a friend just to get one back, but I guess there wasn't any other way around it. The only thing I could do from here is make sure Teddy's sacrifice meant something, and continue on with our plan to save the world, knowing it was only possible because of him. He bet his life on me. So with every PvP battle that comes my way, I'm not gonna forget that. Tabby and I ran into Parrot on the way back down to the Diamond Sword level. Now that he chose to drop down, the Sword Civilization was about to have everyone from just about every civilization. Honestly, I think Tabby being there is what gave Parrot the confidence to face the Diamond Swords as an outsider. But at the end of the day, what the other Diamond Swords thought about Tabby and Parrot being there didn't mean anything. The Diamond Swords trusted me enough to trust them. So, it's time to do this. It's time to save the world. The Diamond Swords aren't allowed to fight, but they do have a pretty big part in this plan, all thanks to Parrot. Every time I die, the Diamond Swords will be waiting for me outside my room at the Wooden Sword level. And every time I leave my room, they'll make sure no one else gets access to the respawn power before the door closes. So I can continue doing the first part of the plan, which is to give my life over and over until there's no more fighting in PvP Civilization. We ran to the center of our universe and I watched as every Diamond Sword teleported back to the Wooden Sword level for the first times in their lives. But while they knew what they were doing, Tabby still had no idea what her role was.
I don't get it. Where are you and I going if it's not back to the Wooden Sword level?
Well, you just gotta follow me. You might not like this, but we're actually going to the top of this place. We made it to the top of the structure that would be my deathbed for the rest of my life. And I looked up to see that the statue of the once broken Eternal Sword was now fully formed again. Probably a good sign that Clownpierce's wish came true.
You and Clownpierce made us both enemies to the entire world. Why?
Because we need the whole world's attention to be on me if I'm gonna save them. From now on, I'm dedicating my life to giving my sword durability to everyone in PvP Civilization. But the only way I can effectively do that is if I fight everyone from the bows, axes, and tridents to the point where they can't fight back. It's not gonna be easy, and I don't have much time left. By now, every civilization should have ownership of their eternal weapon. As soon as they get their hands on them, they'll all be coming here to get rid of me permanently.
How is that even a plan? You won't stand a chance fighting all civilizations by yourself, and asking me to help would be asking me to die.
I don't expect you to fight with me. Honestly, I don't want you to. All I'm asking for is a favor. If I survive, I want you to be the one to get rid of me.
Why? Why do I have to be the one to do it?
If you're the one that gets rid of me, I'll have a guarantee that I can respawn, and I can save more lives. If you don't want to go through with this, I'll understand, but you have to make up your mind before it's too late.
You make it sound like this is easy. I either have to let you die, or I have to let myself die if I fight with you.
Then let me make it for you. You're not fighting with me. If you leave now and hide in the Sword Civilization, everyone will forget about you. You've saved my life too many times to count, so just give me the chance to save yours for once. Just trust me, I can hold my own. I don't care what weapon they have. I can fight back. Come on, Tabby, you have to get out of here. Please, just go. I'll be fine. I can do this. Wait, Tabby, before you go, I want you to know something. No one's ever asked me if it hurts every time I die. And the truth is, it does. But it's not as bad when I'm with you. As I watched people appear from every side, I realized I was happy Tabby left. After all, her helping me fight the other civilizations wasn't even a guaranteed part of the plan. At the end of the day, I feel better knowing that she can live a life without battle, and she shouldn't bear the burden of watching her best friend die over and over again, which is why I have to win. Dying saves the lives of everyone else, but staying alive saves Tabby's. So, I'm gonna do both. Alright, 3 bows, 5 axes, 4 tridents. Nothing I can't handle by myself. Tabby, wait! We need them alive for this to work! Please! Well, that wasn't that bad, right?
Seriously?
Sorry, yeah, that was pretty tough. But the good news is it only gets easier from here. $1,561 PvP attacks. That's how much life I give each player every time I die as a diamond sword. No matter who it is, it could be a diamond axe, it could be a bow or a trident. Anyone who receives my durability will completely regenerate their lifespan, which is why me being a diamond sword makes me the best person for this job of dying over and over again. Speaking of that job, well, I'm getting better at it. I haven't convinced the world that I'm not the enemy yet, but at least the other civilizations stopped attacking me all at once. It's kind of strange. I mean, my goal is to have everyone not want to fight me, but because I've been fighting everyone so much, I've gotten extraordinarily good at PvP. Honestly, since I've gotten so good, I've already noticed that people aren't giving their all in their fights, which could mean we're one step closer to my plan of having them just accept my sword durability without fighting. But we haven't gotten there yet, so for now, my days will look quite similar for a while. I wake up as a wooden sword, and I get to see which one of my friends is guarding my room. Thanks to them, they'll wait till the door is closed so no one can steal the respawn ability. And then I fight back against the player who I ultimately want to give my durability to. Nowadays, I do a lot of the fighting myself, but if I ever feel myself losing a battle, well, let's just say there's only one person in this world I'm allowed to die by. I've done a lot of things in PvP Civilization, but the one thing I haven't done yet is make everyone realize that no one has any enemies in this world.
You never did check out the PvP marketplace in the Axe Civilization.
Oh man, you're right. Well, I guess that's two things I haven't done, but now that I see how far my sword durability goes when it comes to lengthening people's lifespans, that one will have to stay unchecked. Durability spent at the PvP marketplace could be the difference between life and death for someone in PvP Civilization. So, I'm done wasting attacks. You know what? I take it back. There is one more thing I haven't done. I haven't gotten myself to finish the journal. I guess it's finally time we sign off for good, right? After all, we do need a proper ending. So, I guess this is the time I say goodbye. This has been the story of PvP Civilization, and until next time,
I'm gonna make sure Evbo doesn't die, other than the times when he's supposed to die.
I'm gonna make sure Evbo dies, other than the times when he's not supposed to die.
I'm gonna work on repairing the relationship between the bows and the swords. If the bows stop seeing the swords as the enemy, maybe the other civilizations will follow suit. Also, I'm keeping an eye on the bow named Toph to see if we can trust him.
I am never going back to the Bow Civilization. This place is amazing. My next goal is to buy a mansion here. As of now, the diamond swords don't want to give me more durability yet, so I'm kind of stuck here with just a few PvP attacks. They do feed me for free though, so I'm not complaining.
Signing off.
now you can't just say signing off when you haven't said anything.
I'm probably just going to use Evbo's extra durability to shop. I mean, now that he's done wasting PvP attacks, someone's got to be the one to do it.
I think I will try improving the way I communicate with others. I've been told I often come across as very monotone.
And well, you already know what I'm gonna do. Signing off.